In part 1, we have seen various terms related to control of disease in the community. At the lowest level is a disease control, where we manage the disease to a considerable limit. The next better stage is disease elimination, where we have completely interrupted the transmission of disease in that particular region. Disease eradication is at the highest level, where we have removed the disease agent entirely from the entire environment in the whole world. We will continue with our levels of prevention for disease. When a question is given in the exam asking you to write prevention of any disease, let us say it's a caries or periodontal disease, oral cancer, malocclusion, fluorosis, dental trauma, whichever disease that is. When a question is asked on prevention, see to it that you are going to classify that particular answer first based on primary, secondary and tertiary level of prevention. We have already seen that. And also classify within primary, within secondary, within tertiary. Just think of what individual can do at primary level, what community can do at primary level, what professional can do at primary level, and similarly at secondary level, what individual can do, what a group of people can do, and what a doctor or a professional can do, and similarly for tertiary. So think in these lines and you will be able to write a very good answer. I show an example for this. First we will see the modes of intervention for primary level of prevention. So the first mode of intervention for primary level of prevention is health promotion. The basic idea of health promotion is to make the healthier choices easier choices. For example, if you want to promote nutrition in a community, it should be easier to buy the fruits. It should be more difficult to buy the chocolates, something like that. So you make the healthier choices easier choices. So you subsidize the good food, you reduce the cost of preventive agents, you reduce the cost of treatment, all the preventive measures. So those all will become health promotion actions. The most important way by which we can promote the health in a community is to empower the individual through the health education. Another way to promote the health in the community is the environmental modification. For example, everybody should be having access to safe drinking water. Another way of promoting health in a community would be nutritional. So if you are giving nutrition, then you are in general promoting their good health and they are going to prevent multiple diseases. Lifestyle and behavior changes which you are advocating in a group of people again come under the health promotion aspect of the primary level of prevention. What is specific protection? In health promotion, the actions done were very broad. But here in specific protection, the actions taken are specific. They are specific to a risk factor and they are specific to an individual. For example, immunization or protection against occupational hazards like personal protective equipment or avoidance of allergens or protection against accidents for mouth guard. So you are not going to give mouth guard to all children. You are going to give it to the child who is involved in contact sports. Maybe the child plays hockey, the child has already proclined teeth, then you would specifically want to protect that child by giving a mouth guard. So this kind of action taken to deal with the problem in anticipation of the problem in a specific individual is called as specific protection. Now the secondary level of prevention, the actions taken to halt the progress of a disease at an early or an incipient stage where the disease is still reversible. So here what we can do, the modes of intervention that we can carry out here are early diagnosis and prompt treatment. So you would want to diagnose the disease as early as possible. If you diagnose the disease at a reversible stage, then you will prevent all the disability and handicap and all those things that can happen due to the disease. So you will reverse the disease and then there will be no impairment. So attempts to arrest the disease process in its reversible stages is the secondary level of prevention. For example, if you are screening or doing a surveillance for an infectious disease or even non-infectious disease in a community. So these people are apparently healthy. You go to industry, you do their oral examination. If you ask them, none of them will come for checkup because they will think that they don't have a dental problem. But when you tell them, no, you might have a problem, why don't you get examined? And then your examination reveals many problems. Then this process is screening. So why are we doing screening? We are doing screening so that we can detect the people in the early stages of the disease, where late pathogenesis has not occurred, severe symptoms have not occurred, but you are trying to diagnose the disease early. So this is secondary level of prevention. So secondary level of prevention again can be subdivided into what individual can do, what community can do, what professional can do. For example, what individual can do to diagnose the dental caries early, he has to go for a self-examination. He has to keep checking his teeth every now and then, maybe once in a fortnight, once in a month, properly in the mirror, self-examination. And any new cavitation that forms, if he has a suspicion, he has to go to the dentist. So self-examination and referral is what individual can do. Or individual can also do periodic dental examination. He can go to dentist regularly. So if he is doing that, then he is following secondary level, because he is taking action so that the disease is prevented at the early stage, recognized at the early stage. What can community do for diagnosing the disease early? Yes, community can set up a screening camp where the doctors will go to apparently healthy people. They right now don't have the symptoms, but carry out the examination and provide the dental services. And what can professional do for a secondary level of prevention? A professional has to always do a complete examination. It is not that patient has come for 1/6, so you just examine 1/6. You want to examine rest all the teeth, entire oral cavity, all the mucosa. Why do we do that? So that we recognize other problems that are in the earlier stages, so that we can institute action and we can prevent the progression of that particular disease. So the third one is the tertiary level of prevention, where we take measures to reduce the limit of impairment and disability and handicap of a disease. So the moment we say tertiary level of prevention, we know that irreversible damage has already occurred. But we still want to do something so that we prevent further damage. That prevention of further damage may reduce the suffering that is caused due to the disease. That also may promote the patient's adjustment to irrevocable or irremediable conditions. So at least you help him adapt to that particular loss of limb. So we will see with an example. There are two modes of intervention in tertiary level of prevention. One is disability limitation, other one is rehabilitation. What is disability limitation? You are taking action so that the disease remains at that stage only. It's already irreversible, but at least it remains at that stage only. It doesn't progress further. That is disability limitation. So once you have limited the disease to that level only by instituting a proper action, the second thing that you would do is rehabilitation. In this, you would want the person to get back the function which he has lost, or get back the structure which he has lost. For example, we talk about physical rehabilitation, where you replace a lost limb. So that is physical rehabilitation. After replacing a lost limb or after doing a cleft surgery, you want to do a speech therapy. Then it is functional rehabilitation. The third one is the vocational rehabilitation, where you already physically rehabilitated the person is able to do something, but you want to find a job for him so that he can take care of all those social functions which he was not earlier doing. So that is vocational rehabilitation. So this is all we do in tertiary level of prevention. So how can individual, community and professional act in tertiary level of prevention? Again, for an individual, he has to use the dental services so that he halts the disease in the early stage and he rehabilitates himself. So he cannot do anything by himself. He has to use the dental services. And community can also not do anything by themselves. They have to use the professionals, pay the professionals, arrange for the professionals, and provide the dental services. And what can professional do? Obviously, what we are trained for, the complex dental treatment procedures that we are trained for. So this we all do and institute in the tertiary level of prevention. So as I already reminded you earlier, whenever a question comes on levels of prevention for a disease, you try to see to it based on primary, secondary, tertiary, also individual, community, professional. For example, I have just put it for oral cancer, just as an example. Primordial level, primary level, secondary level, tertiary level. If you are targeting non-smokers, children, women who are non-smokers, either parent is a smoker or these children are from disadvantaged group or they are suffering from child delinquency or child abuse. So these children are likely to become addicts. So if we do something, then it is primordial. If somebody already has a disease risk factor like tobacco consumption and you are doing something, then it is primary. If somebody is already showing precancerous symptoms, then it becomes secondary. If it is already somebody is having cancer, then it becomes tertiary. So no risk factor, no disease, primordial. Risk factor present, but disease is not present, primary. Early disease, secondary. Advanced disease, tertiary. This is how we divide the levels of prevention. Same thing you could do for dental caries. For example, in this case, we have written the levels of prevention for dental caries, what individual can do. In this case, in primary level, what individual can do? He has to do the proper diet planning. He has to get the preventive services done. He has to do a periodic visit for health promotion. For a specific protection, he has to drink the fluoridated water. He has to do oral hygiene practice. In secondary level, what he can do? Individual. He has to get himself examined, self-examination, and use the dental services. And in tertiary level, what he can do? Already disease has progressed. He has to use the dental services. So what can community do? In case of primary level of prevention, they have to, let us say for caries, they have to promote healthy diet in the school or legislation. Or for specific protection, they have to do a school water fluoridation in those schools where high caries levels are there. What can community do for early diagnosis of disease? Periodic screening and referral, provision of dental services. And what can community do in the tertiary level of prevention? Provide dental services. And coming to the professional, what professional can do at primary level? He has to do the patient education, help in plaque control, reinforce the habits. In specific protection, he has to apply the topical fluoride and sealants and all those preventive measures. In second level, he has to do the complete examination. He has to identify the disease early and restore or do the pulp capping so that disability is not caused. In tertiary level, he has to do all the complex treatment procedures which we are trained to do. RCT, pulpotomy, extraction, RPD, FPD, implant, all those things. Right? That is how you have to categorize your answer for levels of prevention. So that completes the topic of part 2, levels of prevention. You may read Park and Park or Soben Peter or CM Maria textbook for this particular topic. Thank you.